So I'm getting some tools and materials ready. We're gonna start wiring everything up this morning, and we're trying to get back on solar, get off a generator, because we've actually been on a generator for a number of days now. Got everything prepped for wire for the disconnects. I actually put bushings on the bottom side of the rigid pipe in the trough. I put bond bushings inside of the disconnects. It's over 250 volts coming in, so it's a centric knockout. We bond bushed them. We actually have 420 volts coming in from our panels. If you guys remember, a couple years ago, we pulled number 4 wire from the panels to the first disconnect. And this year, we're actually going to do number 8 wire from that panel to the disconnect. The reason why we're doing it like that, because originally we actually sized the wire bigger so we can put more panels on that first array that we did, so we wouldn't have to pull new wire or anything like that. We actually went bigger so we can add more panels. Well, we went to go ahead and do that. Technology changed. They don't make our panels anymore. Same brand of panels, Hanwha, but it's a different wattage panel, so I can't wire those in series with my 385 watts with my 425 watt panel. So we did 2 new strings for second and third string of panels. In that case, we actually went with number 8 wire copper, so we're good to go. So if you all see this wire here is bigger, that's why.
Yeah, so as Josh had mentioned, the panels that we originally bought are 385 watts. They stopped making those by the time that we were ready to expand the array. So the ones that we just recently bought are 425 watts. However, they are more wattage for the same price. So the 385 watt panels cost the exact same price as the newer 425 watt panels, but they both have the same square footage. So once they're up, you're not going to be able to tell that there's a difference in the type of panel. It's just that solar technology is constantly improving and the price is coming down. So as we go along, we're kind of like reaping the benefits of advancing technology.
So I'm going to push wire to you. It's going to come out of this 1.25 inch pipe here. You're going to take that wire, run it through the trough, come this way, and you're going to turn it up to this trough right here. It's going to turn in right through here to the charge controller 3. You can leave about a foot out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can handle this?
I can handle it.
And once we get that done, we'll do the same thing again, but to be a little more difficult, we're going to go to charge controller 2. Okay?
Okay.
Then it's
I don't know.
It's really going to change when we go to charge controller 1.
Oh my gosh,
third
Josh.
pole, okay?
I'm not really sure that I'm capable of doing that, but we'll just have to see.
But just so you know, wherever the lightning arrestor is, you want to come through that side. You don't want to come on this side and come through. We're going to go to the lightning arrestor. So 3, 2, 1 in that order.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and get Chuck so he can be outside and supervise your work.
Huh. Shupa? Is it long enough?
It's long enough.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you positive?
I'm positive.
Okay, I'm gonna cut it.
Okay.
I got a fire in me. You're gonna set to burn. We got a world to see. All the time to learn. Set out on a
Last one. Ready?
see how far we can go.
Good.
I got a hole to fill, and it's in the shape of you. Dirt under my nails, strings coming loose. Set out on our road, see how far we can go.
As you guys know, these two disconnects are the new ones. That's the old existing one. We actually took our grinder, grinded down the paint off this bottom of this can. We took our ground lug, put it on top of that, and bolted it down. The reason why you gotta do that is because you need metal on metal touching. If I just take this and bolt it to the can with the paint, it's not a good enough bond. The only way that it would work if I had a pre-drilled and tapped hole. So if that went through a hole and it actually screwed through the hole, that's acceptable bond with that on there without grinding the paint down. But since I took a bolt and a nut and I bolted it on there, I needed to grind the paint down. So that's what we did. Now we're gonna go underneath and put a ground bar and bond everything down there and start bringing ground wires up and then bonding everything. So with that, we actually got a tap tool for our drill. This screw is an 832 size screw. Drills a proper size for the screw. It also puts threads on the can, so I can actually screw this right on in. Enough. We are wired up. Everything's done. This is going to be our line side come in. We'll take care of that later. Not really worried about that right now because we still got to go inside and wire everything else up. The 12 panels that we do have right now that are up, we actually have 2 strings of those. So it's 6 wired in series, the other 6 wired in series, and they actually parallel in the combiner box, and we have one set of wire coming through here. So it's actually 288 volts for this disconnect. These 2 disconnects are going to be wired a little bit different. I actually have 2 strings of 10. So 10 panels wired together in series, 10 panels wired together in series, and when you add your voltage on that, you go positive, negative, negative, positive all the way through. It's going to give you on these, will give you 420 volts. So it's a little bit different from this one to that one, but it makes sense to me. Also, real quick, this is actually the low side that goes to the charge controllers. We actually have all 3 of these wired up. Here's our positive lead, our negative lead. We actually have everything in the charge controllers right now. So I'm gonna go through, wire everything up, and then pretty much mark everything so we know what everything is. So this is actually gonna be array 1, array 2, array 3. It's gonna be the same thing on the inside. It's gonna be charge controller 1, 2, and 3, and array 1 goes with charge controller 1, so on and so forth. So that makes sense. Let's go inside and start wiring.
So Josh just basically went through and got everything all cleaned up in the troughs. He put sticky backs down and got things zip tied so that all of the wire is nice and neat and pretty. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Josh is going to start stripping.
What? So we're stripping wire, Aaron. Don't get all wild. This is our ground going in right here. And this is for our lightning arrestor. We have the ground going in, obviously, and we have our positive lead and our negative lead right here. And it came with directions, and it shows the directions. You got your solar array right there, and it shows your charge controller here. And it has you actually putting your lightning arrestor into the charge controller like we're doing. So we're actually going to wire it directly into it with our PV wires right here that come from our solar panels. We got our ground coming in to the first charge controller, is number 10 wire. That actually came from the solar panels outside. And those solar panels are actually, I think it's around 15 amps, so number 10 wire is completely sufficient with that. So it's going to go to the ground bar here, then we're going to jump a wire inside from charge controller 1 to 2 to 3 over here to the inverter. And it's all going to get bonded with number 8 wire. Then we'll come back out with number 8 wire again off this bar, go to the bottom, chase nipple, come down, and I'm going to bond the bottom of this can right here so everything's bonded. The reason why we use number 8 versus number 10 is because, like I said, it's like around 15 amps for the solar panels, and then coming off for the battery terminals, the wire size is going to jump up. It's a lower voltage. It's going to be around 60 some volts or 50 some volts charging the batteries. It's going to be 80 amps. So we're using number 8 wire. Number 8 wire is ready for 100 amps, so we use that to bond everything.
Clinging to fool's gold, yeah. You can gain a whole world, but it'll cost your soul. Oh, everybody dies, clinging to fool's gold. Give me what's real, but doesn't rust or fade. Come down the hot water, come judgment.
Yeah, so looking at this, I mean, I hate the way they did this. I think these bars in here are too small because if you look, I'm gonna have one ground coming in from here. I got a ground going up to there, to the inverter, and I got a ground for my ground rods only. And then I gotta jump from this lay-in lug they have right here on the side to bond everything together with the neutral, because this is actually considered, on this spot right here, this right here will be, it needs to be bonded at the service. I mean, this is, I guess, it's not really a service with a power company, but your neutral and your ground needs to be bonded together at your first means of disconnect, which is this right here. So it all needs to be bonded together. I know in other countries it might be different, but in America that's what we do things. So my point is, I got lugs up here too. My point is, my ground bar here is too damn small. I need a bigger ground bar. So that being said, I gotta ground some paint down and put some more lugs in there and bond it all together. Not a big deal. So you guys can see right here, we have our AC load on these three terms right here. You have our line 1, neutral, line 2. The load is what goes out to our panel. So it's gonna come down to here. We'll tie it into the breaker. We have grid AC. We are off grid, so we will not be using those. Then we have the generator section, AC2. So this is where the generator feeds will come off of this guy right here, go to the breaker, and we tie our the generator that we bought. We haven't showed you guys yet, but we have one. A house generator, we found one too.
That'll be we're good. That's on the vlog channel in like a couple days, probably.
Yes.
If I can get it done.
So we want to get that set and get everything tied in and ready to go. So we're gonna get all this stuff prepped and ready to go, and we gotta bind everything. So not enough space for grounds. I mean, you have ground lugs everywhere. They want you to bind everything, but there's not enough space for anything. Makes no sense. Whatever. We'll make do. What I should do.
You should have hired an electrician.
What I should do is remove that ground bar, put that ground bar down here, and get this big ground bar right there, and have that big ground bar do everything. But what's that big ground bar rated for? Okay. Rev number 6. So.
Wait, are you redoing it?
Taking this ground bar out.
Oh my gosh! So I gotta refilm that whole thing now.
Yeah, I mean, I put the ground bar in. Look at here, and I go, wish I had more space here, but I don't. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and swap ground bars real quick. Get all my grounds going here. Get that down there. Voila, be done. It'll look better. It'll be better. Be a better install. And you just gotta stop crying about it.
No. I have no problem filming it. It's just that I'm going to be all up in your business, and you got to stop crying about it. Ready, Josh?
Yeah, no, like
Go
that.
ahead.
Like this. Like this, you know what I mean? I don't know like this. I'm like, give my way, move your head, and I'm like this, you know? That's how we do it. That's how it works. That's gonna fit. That being said, I need to take this guy out and draw a hole into him. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna jump a wire from our neutral bus down to our ground. That's gonna be our main bonding jumper. We're required to do that here in America. I know we're gonna get a lot of comments from people overseas that say they don't do that, but we're required to do it here. It's at our first means of disconnect. Our breaker right here, this right here is where everything starts at. And it comes from here and goes out. So everything from here out This right here, the panel next to me, is actually considered a sub panel. So our ground and our neutrals are completely isolated, 100%. The only time they make contact is right here. Alright, so we're bonded. Alright, so looking here, we actually have lugs all over the place for bonding this thing. We actually put this larger ground bar in there, so we're gonna go ahead and bond everything off of this. So it's not required for me to bring something from here to that side. That's just complete nonsense because it's all connected to the can. It's all already bonded together with this one ground bar. I actually have one up there too. I'm not gonna remove them, I'm just gonna leave them, but everything's gonna get bonded here, then come off, and we're gonna come up and we're actually gonna land them here too. As you can see, I have lugs inside of here, and I also have a lug on the very bottom side of this inverter there also. Those two are both bonded together. I'm just gonna make one point of contact with this, coming off of here, right to there, instead of doing here, there, and everywhere. They have extra lugs everywhere, I'm not sure why, but they're not needed.
If I had a great big mansion, I'd rather live in a shotgun shack with you. And if I drove a red Ferrari, I'd rather ride in an Oldsmobile with you.
That's only the Groundbar, guys. Should we stop and take a drink before we continue? I think I need a drink.
It's not that bad. The filming of this, in order for us to film this and show everything and do all that, it takes freaking forever. Like,
it's just so intricate.
I would have had it all done in 20 minutes if it wasn't for you being here with the camera.
I know.
So
I'm trying to be sure that you guys can see like the flow of how it's going through everything, but then so have enough distance so you can see where it's going, but then also be close enough in some areas so you can actually see what he's doing.
And it's hard to work like this.
It's hard to work with me on this.
The camera right there, her head's right here. I'm like this with a screwdriver. It's tough. There's not enough room in there in the first place. You don't have to get your hands in there, and you got a camera in your face.
I know. It's all right.
So
you editing this video?
No.
Okay, I'm ready. Hi.
Ready?
Yeah.
You done playing?
Oh, I like to be with me when I'm with